Welcome to Help Me GMP. Today we're diving into a critical issue: the Windsor Framework and its impact on medicine supply across Great Britain and Northern Ireland. In this video we will cover what are the benefits, challenges, and most importantly, are there any risks to patients? So let's break it down. The Windsor Framework, agreed in early 2023, is a new arrangement between the UK and the EU that replaces parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol. It aims to address trade friction while maintaining peace in the region, and yes, it directly impacts the supply of medicines. The implementation date for the Windsor Framework was set for the 1st of January 2025, marking a significant shift in how medicines are regulated and supplied to Northern Ireland. Under this framework, medicines approved by the UK regulator, the MHRA, can flow freely from Great Britain into Northern Ireland without being subject to EU regulatory hurdles. This is a significant change from the previous protocol, which required full EU compliance for medicines entering Northern Ireland. Let us know in the comments how you think the Windsor Framework will impact the pharmaceutical industry. Let's start with the benefits. First, the Windsor Framework simplifies the regulatory landscape for pharmaceutical companies. Medicines destined for Northern Ireland no longer need dual regulatory approval. This reduces delays and costs for manufacturers. For marketing authorization holders, this means that medicines authorized by the MHRA can be supplied directly to Northern Ireland without additional EU marketing authorization. This streamlining ensures quicker access to essential medicines for patients in Northern Ireland and fosters a more unified UK market. Similarly, manufacturing and importation authorization holders benefit from reduced duplication. Batch testing and qualified person certification no longer need to comply with EU legislation for medicines supplied to Northern Ireland, saving both time and resources. But it's not all smooth sailing. One major challenge is that manufacturers now need to manage two regulatory regimes, one for the UK and another for the EU, where medicines are manufactured for both markets. This dual compliance can be resource-intensive for companies. MA and MIA holders serving both the EU and UK markets face complexities in ensuring compliance. For instance, while batch testing for Northern Ireland follows MHRA guidelines, medicines entering the EU still need to meet EU requirements. This duality could lead to increased operational costs and the need for more robust compliance systems to handle these parallel frameworks effectively. There is also now a requirement for all UK medicines to state UK only on the pack. This can be in the form of an additional label applied prior to certification for the first 12 months until artwork is updated. So, what about patients? Are there risks under the Windsor Framework? Potential risks include supply chain disruptions if manufacturers struggle to navigate dual systems. Any delay in approvals or distribution could impact the availability of critical medicines. For marketing authorization holders, divergence in labeling and packaging requirements between the UK and EU could cause confusion for healthcare providers and patients. Meanwhile, manufacturer and distributor authorization holders must carefully manage logistics to prevent supply interruptions and ensure consistent medicine quality. Despite these challenges, the Windsor Framework is a step forward in creating a workable solution for medicine supply across the UK. Collaboration between the UK and EU, along with clear guidance for the pharmaceutical industry, will be key to minimizing risks. MA and MIA holders must remain proactive, investing in systems to manage dual regulatory frameworks effectively. Patients and healthcare providers should also stay vigilant, reporting any issues promptly to ensure uninterrupted medicine availability. So to sum up, the Windsor Framework brings both opportunities and challenges. While it simplifies some aspects of medicine supply, it also introduces complexity that requires careful management. Ensuring patient safety and uninterrupted access to medicines must remain the top priority. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Welcome back to Help Me GMP. In the intricate web of the pharmaceutical industry, Ensuring the safety and efficacy of medicinal products is paramount. From the moment these products leave the manufacturing facility until they reach the hands of patients, a crucial journey unfolds: the distribution process. This journey, fraught with potential risks and challenges, necessitates robust controls to safeguard the integrity of these vital goods. This is where good distribution practice, commonly known as GDP, takes center stage. GDP encompasses a meticulous set of guidelines and principles that govern the proper handling, storage, and transportation of pharmaceutical products throughout the supply chain. It serves as a critical line of defense, protecting patients from the dangers of counterfeit, substandard, or degraded medications. By adhering to GDP regulations, stakeholders in the pharmaceutical industry play a pivotal role in upholding public health and maintaining trust in the healthcare system. The importance of GDP cannot be overstated. It is not merely a regulatory checkbox, but a fundamental pillar of patient safety. When GDP principles are compromised, the consequences can be dire, ranging from treatment failures to life-threatening adverse events. Therefore, a comprehensive understanding of GDP requirements and a steadfast commitment to their implementation are non-negotiable for all staff involved in the pharmaceutical supply chain. This video delves into the intricacies of GDP, providing a comprehensive guide for stakeholders seeking to navigate this complex landscape. We will embark on a journey that begins by unraveling the fundamental principles of GDP. What exactly constitutes good distribution practice, and what are the core tenets that underpin this critical framework? Moving beyond the theoretical, we will explore the practical implications of GDP for wholesale distribution authorization holders. These entities, operating at the heart of the pharmaceutical supply chain, bear a significant responsibility in upholding GDP standards. We will examine the specific challenges they face and the strategies they can employ to ensure compliance. This video will serve as a practical roadmap, equipping viewers with the knowledge and tools to master GDP compliance. We will delve into the specific requirements for achieving and maintaining GDP certification, covering areas such as quality management systems, personnel training, storage and transportation conditions, documentation, and risk management. Furthermore, we will go beyond the basics, offering additional tips and insights to enhance GDP compliance efforts. From leveraging technology to foster a culture of continuous improvement, we will explore innovative approaches to elevate GDP practices within organizations. Good distribution practice, or GDP, is a quality assurance system for the pharmaceutical supply chain. It ensures products reach patients safely and effectively. GDP mitigates risks like contamination and counterfeiting. Compliance is legally required and crucial for patient safety. The foundation of good distribution practice rests upon key principles guiding the pharmaceutical supply chain. These principles ensure the quality and integrity of medicinal products. Quality management is fundamental. GDP mandates a robust quality management system. Traceability is crucial. Accurate records enable swift identification and recall. Temperature control is paramount. Strict temperature ranges must be maintained. Security is critical. Robust security measures prevent unauthorized access and theft. The importance of good distribution practice extends far beyond regulatory compliance. It is a global imperative for safeguarding patient safety. By ensuring the quality and integrity of medicinal products throughout the distribution process, GDP plays a pivotal role in protecting public health and maintaining trust in the healthcare system. When pharmaceutical products are handled, stored, and transported according to GDP guidelines, patients can be confident that the medications they receive are safe, effective, and of the highest quality. GDP helps to prevent the distribution of counterfeit, substandard, or degraded products, which can have serious consequences for patient health. Moreover, GDP contributes to the fight against antimicrobial resistance, a growing global health threat. By ensuring the proper storage and handling of antibiotics, GDP contributes to prevent the development and spread of drug-resistant bacteria. This is crucial for preserving the effectiveness of these life-saving medications. The implementation of GDP fosters a culture of quality and traceability within the pharmaceutical supply chain. It encourages organizations to prioritize patient safety and to continuously improve their processes and systems. This, in turn, leads to a more robust and reliable healthcare system that patients can trust. Wholesale distribution authorization, or WDA holders, occupy a pivotal position in the pharmaceutical supply chain. They ensure efficient and secure distribution of medicinal products. Their actions impact the health and well-being of countless individuals. WDA holders maintain the integrity of medicinal products from receipt to dispatch. For WDA holders, compliance with GDP is a non-negotiable regulatory imperative. Regulatory authorities worldwide have established stringent GDP guidelines. WDA holders are legally obligated to adhere to these standards. Non-compliance can lead to severe consequences. Authorities can impose fines, product recalls, and even criminal prosecution. Non-compliance can damage a WDA holder's reputation. News of infractions spreads rapidly, eroding trust. The reputational damage can be difficult to repair. WDA holders must establish a robust quality management system. This includes documented procedures, regular audits, and continuous improvement. Personnel must be adequately trained in GDP requirements. Regular training programs should be conducted to keep staff updated. GDP compliance carries a profound ethical dimension for WDA holders. It's about protecting public health by ensuring the safety and efficacy of medicinal products. Wholesalers have an ethical obligation to uphold the highest standards of quality and safety. Their decisions impact patient health outcomes. A lapse in quality control or a break in the cold chain can have serious consequences. Ethical GDP compliance requires a culture of quality and commitment to patient safety. Transparency and accountability are paramount. Wholesalers should be open and transparent about their operations. This builds trust and confidence in the pharmaceutical supply chain. By embracing ethical GDP compliance, in turn they contribute to a safer healthcare system. At the heart of good distribution practice, GDP, lies a robust quality management system, QMS. This system serves as the backbone of compliance, managing all aspects of the pharmaceutical distribution process. A comprehensive QMS ensures the quality and integrity of medicinal products at every stage. It encompasses receipt of goods, storage, inventory management, transportation, and documentation. Clear responsibilities ensure everyone understands their role in maintaining GDP compliance. Documentation is paramount, providing consistency and evidence of compliance. The success of any quality management system hinges on the competence and commitment of the personnel. Human error highlights the need for comprehensive training and qualification programs. Training should be ongoing, starting with onboarding and continuing throughout an employee's tenure. The curriculum should cover all relevant aspects of GDP, including regulatory requirements and company procedures. Maintaining the quality of medicinal products relies on optimal storage and transportation conditions. Temperature excursions and physical damage can compromise these sensitive goods. Storage facilities must provide a secure and controlled environment, maintain appropriate temperature, humidity, and protection from pests and light. Transportation requires maintaining the cold chain with validated vehicles. Loading and unloading procedures should prevent damage to products. Documentation and record-keeping are essential components of GDP compliance. Meticulous documentation creates a transparent and traceable system. Every step of the distribution process should be documented accurately. This includes maintaining records of purchase orders, invoices, and delivery notes. Records should be clear, concise, complete, and readily retrievable. Traceability is a cornerstone of GDP. Proactively identifying and mitigating potential threats. GDP is about proactively identifying and mitigating risks to ensure the quality and integrity of medicinal products. A robust risk management system helps anticipate challenges and implement control measures. It starts with identifying potential hazards and evaluating their impact. Hazards include temperature excursions, product damage, counterfeiting, and theft. Implement control measures to mitigate risks. Measures should be proportionate to the risk level. For example, use validated temperature-controlled vehicles and real-time monitoring. The system should be dynamic, regularly reviewed and updated. Foster a culture of risk awareness and encourage hazard reporting. Provide regular training to ensure effective risk management. While a WDA holder's internal operations are paramount for GDP compliance, it's crucial to recognize that the pharmaceutical supply chain is an intricate web of interconnected entities. A weak link anywhere along this chain can compromise the integrity of the entire system, highlighting the importance of extending GDP principles beyond an organization's own walls and fostering collaborative partnerships with suppliers. Engaging with suppliers through regular audits and inspections is essential to verify their adherence to GDP standards. These audits should focus on critical aspects such as storage conditions, transportation practices, documentation procedures, and security measures. The selection of suppliers should not be based solely on cost, but should prioritize those with a demonstrated commitment to quality and compliance. Open and transparent communication channels with suppliers are vital for addressing potential issues promptly and effectively. This includes establishing clear communication protocols, designating points of contact for quality-related matters, and fostering an environment where concerns can be raised and addressed collaboratively, without fear of retribution. Regular meetings and joint training sessions can further strengthen supplier relationships and promote a shared understanding of GDP requirements. These forums provide opportunities to share best practices, discuss challenges, and align on quality standards, fostering a collaborative approach to maintaining the integrity of the pharmaceutical supply chain. In today's digital age, technology plays an increasingly transformative role in enhancing efficiency, visibility, and compliance in GDP operations. From real-time temperature monitoring systems to blockchain-enabled traceability solutions, technological advancements offer WDA holders powerful tools to streamline processes, reduce human error, and enhance the security and integrity of the pharmaceutical supply chain. Temperature-sensitive medicinal products require meticulous temperature control throughout their journey. Real-time temperature monitoring systems, equipped with sensors and data loggers, provide continuous visibility into storage and transportation conditions, enabling WDA holders to detect and respond to temperature excursions promptly, minimizing the risk of product degradation. Inventory management systems can be significantly enhanced through the use of barcode or RFID technology, automating stock tracking, facilitating accurate inventory counts, and reducing the risk of stockouts or expired products. These systems provide real-time visibility into stock levels, enabling WDA holders to optimize inventory management practices and ensure timely replenishment. Modern technology offers promising applications for enhancing traceability and combating counterfeit products in the pharmaceutical supply chain. By creating a secure record of product movement, distributors must maintain an auditable trail from manufacturer to patient, enhancing transparency, accountability, and trust in the authenticity of medicinal products. Achieving GDP compliance requires a culture of compliance that permeates all levels of an organization. Leadership must demonstrate a visible and unwavering commitment to GDP. This commitment should be reflected in actions, such as allocating resources and recognizing exemplary compliance behaviors. Open communication is paramount in a culture of compliance. Regular training programs play a crucial role in embedding GDP principles. In the realm of good distribution practice, the responsible person ensures adherence to stringent standards. This role demands expertise, vigilance, and leadership. The RP oversees the quality management system and conducts audits. They ensure compliance and liaise with regulatory authorities. While the responsible person holds ultimate accountability for GDP compliance, the successful implementation requires a concerted effort from a team of dedicated individuals. Each plays a crucial role in this orchestrated symphony of quality and safety. The responsible person acts as the guardian of quality standards within the organization. They develop and implement quality control procedures, ensuring all activity protects the product. Their commitment to quality prevents the distribution of substandard products. The warehouse manager maintains the integrity of medicinal products during storage. They ensure the warehouse environment meets GDP requirements, including proper temperature and humidity control, security measures, and pest control. Their oversight of stock rotation and inventory management is crucial. The transportation manager oversees the safe transportation of medicinal products, ensuring cold chain conditions are maintained throughout the journey. They select qualified carriers and validate transportation routes, implementing temperature monitoring systems to track conditions during transit. Their role prevents temperature excursions that could compromise product quality. The cornerstones of effective GDP implementation. Achieving GDP compliance is a collective responsibility, demanding seamless collaboration and open communication among all personnel. From the warehouse floor to the executive suite, a shared understanding of GDP principles is essential. Regular team meetings and cross-functional training sessions foster collaboration and knowledge sharing. Open communication channels ensure potential issues are identified and addressed promptly. Employees should feel empowered to voice concerns and suggest improvements. Creating a speak-up culture is essential for fostering a proactive approach to risk management. Embracing a culture of continuous improvement in GDP. Compliance is not a static endpoint, but a dynamic journey of continuous improvement. The pharmaceutical landscape is constantly evolving with new challenges and technologies. Embrace continuous learning, adaptation, and innovation. Commitment to quality and patient safety is essential. Every individual plays a role in upholding GDP standards. Shared responsibility fosters purpose and accountability. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Do you suffer from interview jitters? Interviews can be a bit nerve-wracking, can't they? We've all been there. You're excited about the job, but the thought of answering tricky questions can make you feel a bit nervous. Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. Today, we're going to build on the STAR technique we covered in our last video with more examples. At Help Me GMP, we think it's like having a secret weapon for your interview. This method helps you answer those tough questions that interviewers love to throw your way. You know the ones, like tell me about a time you failed or describe a situation where you had to work under pressure. So stick with us, and by the end of this, you'll be armed and ready to dazzle those interviewers with your amazing answers. Before we jump into the questions, let's have a quick recap on the magic formula that is STAR. Remember, it stands for situation, task, action, result. First, you set the scene. So describe the event or situation you were in, then move on to the task, where you need to explain what you had to do. Then focus on the actions you took. Remember, this is the important bit, so describe the specific actions you took to handle the situation. And finally, what was the result? Try and cover how you reflected on your actions and would you have done something differently. This method is brilliant because it helps you tell a structured and compelling story, and let's face it, interviewers love stories. It also shows them how you actually behave in real situations, not just what you say you'd do. Okay, time to dive into some real-life examples with our first question. Can you give us an example of when you have noticed an error in someone else's work? What did you do? Remember, always start with the situation. During an internal batch record review for a sterile pharmaceutical product, I noticed that the microbiological environmental monitoring results were not correctly transcribed into the final report. The actual recorded data from the monitoring sheets indicated an excursion in one clean room, but this was not flagged or reflected in the batch report summary. Then move on to the task. My priority was to address the discrepancy immediately, prevent any potential regulatory non-compliance, and ensure the issue was investigated thoroughly to maintain product safety and quality. The next part is really important, the action you took. I double-checked the environmental monitoring records from the primary data to confirm the discrepancy and documented my findings in a deviation report. I then escalated the issue to the QA team and ensured the deviation was appropriately prioritized and investigated. I facilitated a review of the clean room monitoring data with the microbiology and production teams to trace the source of the issue. Additionally, I ensured the batch was placed into quarantine while a thorough root cause investigation was completed. To prevent future occurrences, I collaborated with the QA and microbiology teams to implement a cross-checking system for transcribed data and conducted a training session for the production staff on the importance of accurate documentation in GMP compliance. Lastly, round off your answer with the result. The investigation identified gaps in the data review process, leading to immediate corrective and preventive actions. The error was resolved before batch release, avoiding potential regulatory criticism and ensuring patient safety. My proactive approach demonstrated my commitment to quality and GMP standards. See? By using the STAR method, you've clearly demonstrated your attention to detail, your ability to communicate effectively, and your commitment to teamwork. Let's put a different slant on that last question with our next scenario. Can you tell us about a time you have noticed an error in your own work? What did you do? We all make mistakes, right? It's how we learn and grow. But admitting our blunders in an interview can feel scary. But don't worry. It shows the panel you are self-aware and reliable, provided you clearly demonstrate your commitment to doing things right. So let's answer this using the STAR method. While preparing an annual product quality review for a high-risk sterile injectable, I realized that I had missed including an important set of data related to temperature excursions during distribution. The omission was discovered during the final QA review, just days before the report submission deadline. My objective was to address the error quickly and ensure the APQR was accurate and comprehensive to maintain compliance with regulatory expectations. I immediately took ownership of the oversight and informed the QA manager about the missing data, whilst contributing to the resultant deviation. I collaborated with the logistics and supply chain team to gather the temperature excursion records and ensure the data was accurate, complete, and up to date. Once I retrieved the missing information, I updated the APQR and cross-checked the revised sections to ensure all data were accurate. To avoid delaying submission, I worked additional hours to complete the revisions and coordinated with QA for a second review. To prevent similar errors in the future, I developed a detailed checklist and template for APQR preparation that included a specific step for verifying distribution data. I also shared this checklist with the wider team to enhance our collective documentation process and raised a change control to adopt the checklist into the quality system. The revised APQR was submitted on time and met all required standards. My manager appreciated my proactive handling of the situation and the improvements I introduced to the documentation process, which have since been adopted across the team. See? In this answer, you've shown honesty, proactiveness, and a willingness to learn from your mistakes. And moving on to our last question. You notice a member of the team struggling with an important task. What do? Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. Interviewers love to see that you're a team player, so here's how to showcase this using the STAR method. While working in a sterile production environment, I noticed that a new team member was struggling to follow aseptic gowning procedures correctly. They were frequently flagged by the line manager for contamination risks during gowning checks, which was causing delays in the production schedule and frustration for the staff member. My goal was to support the new team member to improve their gowning technique and reduce contamination risks without affecting the overall team's productivity or negatively impacting their confidence. I approached the team member during a break and asked how they were finding the gowning process. They admitted that they found the steps confusing and felt rushed to complete them under time pressure. I offered to spend additional time with them after the shift to walk through the gowning SOP step by step. During the session, I demonstrated each step slowly, explaining the rationale behind it, such as preventing contamination risks during sterile operations. I also observed their technique and gave constructive feedback on areas to improve. Additionally, I suggested we schedule a few practice sessions in the gowning area during non-production hours to help them gain confidence. I documented the additional training in the staff members' training log as evidence of additional supervised support. Within a few weeks, the team members' gowning compliance improved significantly, and they were no longer flagged during checks. The line manager noticed the improvement and appreciated the time I invested in coaching them. The experience also strengthened the team's trust and collaboration in maintaining GMP standards, and boosted the staff members' confidence in an area they were struggling. By using the STAR method, you've demonstrated your teamwork skills, your empathy, and your problem-solving abilities. So there you have it. The STAR method is a powerful tool for acing those tricky interview questions. Be sure to remember these key tips, and make sure you prepare. Try and think of genuine examples you can use during interviews. Keep it relevant, so try and tailor your examples to the specific skills and qualities outlined in the job description. You need to focus on your actions. So highlight what you specifically did in each situation, showcasing your own skills and experience. And lastly, be positive and enthusiastic. If you do this, your passion and energy will shine through. Finally, practice makes perfect. Now that you're a STAR storyteller, it's time to practice. Think about the types of questions you might be asked and prepare some examples using the STAR method before your interview. Practice, practice, practice. Video yourself and watch it back. Try and avoid filler words like ums and ahs. Watch your responses and consider your body language. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Remember, preparation is key. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future videos like this. Finally, good luck. You've got this. GMP. Today we're highlighting the role of the releasing officer. The releasing officer ensures pharmaceutical products and healthcare goods are safe, effective, and compliant with regulatory standards. This role is vital for maintaining supply chain integrity and public health. Let's delve into the key responsibilities of the releasing officer. They are required to conduct thorough reviews of batch records, test results, and deviation reports to ensure compliance with GMP standards. Approving batches that meet all quality criteria, ensuring deviations are resolved. They ensure all processes comply with GMP, regulatory submissions, and all other relevant standards. They must also maintain accurate records of all released batches for traceability. Another key part of their role is investigating deviations and, where appropriate, implementing corrective actions. They must be able to work closely with other departments to ensure seamless batch release, while providing updates to stakeholders on batch release status when required. And finally, they are responsible for enhancing efficiency and accuracy in the batch release process, all while staying compliant with GMP and the marketing authorization. The releasing officer relies on various types of documentation and systems to perform their duties effectively. These typically are Batch records. These are detailed records of each production batch, including raw materials, production processes, and quality control tests. Deviation reports. These are documented deviations from SOPs or quality specs, including root cause analysis and CAPA. Quality control test results. This is evidence of all quality control inspections and tests on packaging materials and consumables, raw materials, in-process materials, and finished products. Training records of operators to ensure they are validated and authorized to carry out the manufacture. And lastly, the EQMS, which is the software system for managing quality processes, document control, CAPA, and audits, and all other aspects of the quality management system. To excel as a releasing officer, you need technical expertise and attention to detail. A degree in pharmacy, chemistry, biology, or a related field is typically required, while certifications in quality assurance or regulatory affairs are beneficial. Experience in quality assurance, control, or regulatory affairs is essential. Familiarity with batch record review and GMP regulations is crucial, as are a keen eye for detail and strong analytical skills. And it goes without saying, excellent communication skills to collaborate with teams and update stakeholders are a must. The releasing officer ensures only products meeting the highest standards reach the market. As the final checkpoint, they protect public health and maintain healthcare integrity. The releasing officer role offers numerous opportunities for career growth. You can advance to senior positions like quality assurance manager, head of quality, or even a qualified person. If you would like to find out more about these roles, check out our playlist detailing other roles in pharmaceutical manufacturing and GMP. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content. Weight loss drugs like Aseptic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 receptor agonists are making headlines as groundbreaking solutions for obesity and diabetes. But behind the buzz lies a serious question. Are you putting your health at risk by buying from untrusted sources? It's no secret these medications are in high demand, but when demand outpaces supply, some people turn to unregulated online suppliers or other black market sources. These may look legitimate, but the truth is chilling. The so-called cheap alternatives often lack proper quality controls, safety checks, or even the active ingredients they claim to contain. The result? You could be injecting yourself with something completely ineffective, or worse, something that will cause you harm, potentially putting your life at risk. When you buy medications from unregulated sources, the risks are severe. You might encounter contaminants or toxins that can be harmful, or other drugs which can have serious consequences. Medicines bought from unregulated sources may be stolen or diverted genuine medicines, but when they are incorrectly handled and stored, they can be ineffective if used, or could even have been tampered with. Incorrect dosages that can lead to life-threatening complications depending on the medicine. Fake drugs that don't contain the active ingredient, leaving you unprotected and at risk of worsening health. And let's not forget, counterfeit medicines have no safety testing, no sterility assurance, and no oversight. This is why the pharmaceutical supply chain is so critical. Every dose of the genuine Aseptic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 analogues produced by a licensed pharmaceutical company are subject to rigorous quality assurance controls, including strict testing of raw materials purchased from authorized suppliers to ensure purity, manufacture in strictly controlled environments to prevent contamination during production, batch testing to confirm each dose meets safety and efficacy standards. This process is overseen by regulatory authorities like the MHRA in the UK, the FDA in the US, and other medicines regulators in the countries in which they are sold, ensuring every step complies with good manufacturing practices, or GMP. This isn't just about compliance, it's about protecting lives. Quality assurance is the backbone of pharmaceutical safety and quality. Before a single dose reaches your hands, it's been tested for potency. Does it contain the right amount of active ingredient? Purity? Is it free from contaminants? Stability? Will it remain effective during its shelf life? Safety, especially important for injections. Are they sterile? When you choose legitimate medicines from the regulated supply chain, you're not just paying for a product, you're paying for the peace of mind that every precaution has been taken to protect your health. These risks aren't just hypothetical. In 2022, the World Health Organization reported a significant rise in counterfeit drugs, including weight loss medications, circulating through unregulated sources. One documented case involved patients in the US who unknowingly purchased fake Ozempic online. Testing revealed that these products contained dangerous contaminants, including bacterial toxins, leading to severe infections and hospitalization. Global regulatory authorities, including Great Britain's MHRA, have issued warnings of counterfeit Ozempic pens, seizing almost 400 in the last 2 years, some of which led to patient harm. These cases are a stark reminder that unverified sources can lead to life-threatening health consequences. If you're considering Ozempic or similar medications, consult your healthcare provider and make sure you know the authenticity of the product you're buying and who you're buying it from. Stick to licensed pharmacies and trusted sources. Remember, your health isn't worth the risk. Choose safety, choose trust. Your health depends on it. Stay informed, stay safe, and always choose regulated sources for your medicines. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Help Me GMP for more insights on pharmaceutical safety and compliance. Today we will be discussing the Decentralized and Point-of-Care Manufacture Framework, recently covered by the MHRA. The legislative framework will officially come into effect in the summer of 2025. This legislation creates a legal framework for decentralized manufacturing, allowing innovations such as point-of-care manufacture or mobile and modular production units to operate within new regulatory boundaries. The MHRA is preparing guidance to support stakeholders in complying with these changes. The MHRA defines 4 primary models. These are point-of-care manufacturing, which is where products are manufactured on site near the patient, such as in operating theaters or battlefields, often for single-use and extremely short shelf life products where manufacture away from the point of administration would be unfeasible. Then there's modular manufacture, which involves portable units designed for rapid deployment, such as during pandemics or in rural locations, and operate for a period of time. These units can deploy manufacturing facilities locally instead of relying solely on central factories. Next is mobile manufacture. Similar to modular manufacture, these units will be transportable, but are anticipated to be moved more regularly than the modular units. The specialist equipment will move to where patients are when it isn't possible to move the patient close to the manufacturing center. Finally, we have home manufacture. This is where products are manufactured in a patient's home. It's likely this will apply to the manufacture of products which are required to be administered regularly or continuously for chronic conditions. In summary, there are several mechanisms which will allow UK pharmaceutical manufacturers to deploy various manufacturing processes to enable delivery of cutting-edge medicines to UK patients. This is a world first, but something other medicines regulators are already considering. The way in which these various decentralized manufacturing products will be authorized is via a new regulatory requirement for this type of product, the Decentralized Manufacture Master File, or DMMF. This will act as a centralized document describing all arrangements for controlling the manufacturing sites and processes, whether mobile or fixed, by a single reference site. Key requirements of the DMMF include product specifications, site-specific arrangements including site onboarding and decommissioning, oversight mechanisms to ensure compliance, and the approach to qualification and validation of the systems and processes required to deliver these products in a consistent and safe manner. Critical controls of starting materials, process analytical technology, or in-process controls, which may be used to establish the manufacturing process has been completed successfully, will also be required. The DMMF enables decentralized manufacturing operations by removing the need for the addition of a manufacturing site to a manufacturing license, or indeed the removal of a manufacturing site. Such variations would be impossible for the decentralized manufacturing model, both for the manufacturer and the MHRA. The legislation allows decentralized manufacture to be deployed in an agile way, while still maintaining appropriate levels of control and oversight. The quality, safety, and efficacy of the medicines manufactured using these methods is paramount, and should not be compromised by the novel approach to manufacture. The control site or hub will oversee compliance and quality assurance across all manufacturing sites, whether point-of-care, mobile, or modular units which may be deployed in the field. Given some examples used have included battlefields, This may allow a UK manufacturer to manage a manufacturing site in a different territory. This will undoubtedly present additional regulatory challenges, given there will be crossover with the domestic legislation in the country where manufacture takes place. So let's watch this space. Spoke sites, such as bedside or hospital-based production units, do not require individual manufacturing licenses. Instead, they operate under the Control Sites Oversight, Manufacturing License and DMMF. Responsibilities of the central control sites include process validation, equipment qualification and maintenance, personnel training for remote locations, DMMF updates and site inspections, ongoing oversight of the manufacturing sites and equipment, pharmacovigilance obligations. To qualify for decentralized manufacture, products must meet specific legal tests. Point-of-care manufacturing products must only be manufactured at the site of administration, where shelf life limitations or unique manufacturing requirements or product characteristics mandate this. For modular manufacture, deployment must address operational needs, such as pandemic response, synchronized manufacturing and patient preparation, or avoiding cryopreservation steps where they are detrimental to product quality, safety, or efficacy. Mobile manufacture may be required in similar circumstances, but patient numbers may be small and therefore a mobile service may be optimal. Home manufacture is likely to be necessary where patients require a continuous supply of a medicine, which is unfeasible to collect routinely from their local pharmacy or home care provider, for example. It should be noted, cost saving alone or convenience for patients do not qualify as justifications for decentralized manufacture applications. The MHRA aims to create a system that is enabling, enduring, and proportionate. Enabling supports innovation without stifling progress, allowing for rapid deployment of novel new systems where scale-up is not possible. Enduring reduces the need for frequent legislative changes as more manufacturing sites are required to fulfill patient demand. Proportionate ensures regulations are robust but not overly restrictive. Simplifications include not requiring the specific naming of individual locations as manufacturing sites to accommodate their transient nature, and new modules may be deployed or relocated without the need for an on-site inspection prior to beginning manufacture. Of course, this will require robust controls in terms of pre-manufacture qualification, which must be described in the DMMF. The MHRA is collaborating with international regulators via the International Coalition of Medicines regulatory authorities. A December 2024 workshop included input from regulators in the EU, US, and Japan. Topics discussed included shared terminology, regulatory approaches, and comparability frameworks. While local legal requirements may differ, the MHRA aims for aligned global expectations to reduce barriers for innovators entering multiple markets. Enhanced pharmacovigilance systems will be required for decentralized manufacturing, including batch-specific adverse event monitoring, signal detection at the site and batch level, oversight by the qualified person, or QP, and responsible individuals to ensure consistency across decentralized sites, flexibility in terms of labeling requirements for extremely short shelf-life products, although all batch numbers must be recorded and linked to adverse event reports to ensure traceability and safety. The MHRA is developing technical and administrative guidelines which will be released before the framework takes effect in summer 2025. Upcoming activities include an in-person workshop in March 2025 to engage with stakeholders, a second webinar closer to the July implementation date to provide updates and answer additional questions is also planned. These guidelines will be supplementary to existing regulatory frameworks such as GMP annexes. Decentralized manufacture involves not just regulatory readiness, but also institutional readiness. Healthcare institutions, such as hospitals and the NHS, must adapt to integrate these technologies in collaboration with manufacturers and clinical trial sponsors. Collaboration with organizations like NICE, the Care Quality Commission, and the General Medical Council is essential. Institutional readiness also ensures smooth adoption of disruptive technologies, such as bedside manufacturing, while maintaining patient safety and care quality. Let us know what you think of the new changes in the comments below. If you liked this video, subscribe for future videos when we break down these changes in more detail. See you again soon. Have you ever walked out of an interview thinking, I could have answered that better? Or worse, what was I even saying? In the world of GMP, pharma, and quality, Interviews aren't just about what you know, they're about how you present yourself from start to finish. Today we're diving deep into the essential do's and don'ts, including what to wear, so you can confidently ace your next interview and land that dream role. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for expert advice on GMP, compliance, and career growth. Let's start with the do's. You should research the company and role thoroughly. Before your interview, explore the company's website. Read their About Us page, and check out recent news or press releases. Knowing their mission and values shows you're genuinely interested and that you've done your homework. Try and look for case studies, industry awards, or testimonials that reveal how they uphold GMP standards. This insight helps you tailor your responses to match their focus and priorities. Identify the key responsibilities and skills required. You should prepare examples from your past experience that align with the role, whether it's deviation management, process improvement, or ensuring compliance. You should brush up on key GMP concepts by reviewing critical topics like contamination control, validation, calibration, and data integrity. Even if you're not an expert on every regulation, being conversant in the basics boosts your confidence during the interview. Be ready to share concrete examples, maybe a time you managed a deviation or contributed to a quality improvement initiative. Real-world examples demonstrate your hands-on experience. Keep an eye on recent changes in GMP regulations and emerging trends in pharmaceuticals or biotech. Mentioning these in the interview shows that you're proactive about your professional development. Present yourself professionally from start to finish. Your attire is a key part of your first impression. For traditional environments, opt for business formal or smart business casual outfits. For example, men a well-fitted suit or blazer with a dress shirt, and tie if the culture is more formal. Women, a tailored blazer paired with dress pants or a professional dress. Even in virtual interviews, dressing professionally from head to toe is important. You never know when you might need to stand up. Your outfit should reinforce your image as detail-oriented, reliable, and professional. Ensure your clothes are clean, pressed, and well-fitted. Grooming is key. Neat hair, minimal jewelry, and appropriate makeup, if applicable, can make a big difference. Body language is important. You should maintain eye contact, offer a firm handshake if the situation feels right, and use positive gestures. Confident and open body language conveys reliability and professionalism. You should aim to arrive at least 10 to 15 minutes early. This extra time allows you to review your notes, settle in, and mentally prepare for the interview itself. Now let's move on to what not to do. Firstly, do not give vague answers. In GMP, precision matters. If asked about handling deviations, avoid a generic answer like, "I followed SOPs." Instead, detail the specific steps you took and the impact your actions had. Next, you should never badmouth previous employers. Even if your previous experience was challenging, remain professional. Focus on the lessons you learned and how you turned those challenges into opportunities for growth. You should also never neglect soft skills. While technical knowledge is crucial, your ability to communicate and work in teams is equally important. Make sure your responses highlight both your technical expertise and your interpersonal skills. When given the chance to ask questions, make them count. Thoughtful questions not only show your engagement, but also help you assess whether the company is the right fit for you. You could ask something like, how does your company support continuous GMP training and development? What challenges is your production team currently facing? What does success look like in this role after 6 months? Interviews are a two-way street. It's not just about them choosing you, but about you choosing the right workplace too. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a like and share it with someone preparing for an interview. Remember, precision in GMP extends beyond processes. It applies to your professional presentation as well. Go into your next interview prepared, confident, and dressed for success. For more insights on GMP, compliance, and career growth, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.
Welcome to Help Me GMP. Today, we'll be focusing on another critical component, internal audits. Internal audits are a key element of the quality management system, or QMS, in the pharmaceutical industry. They are systematic, independent evaluations conducted to determine two things, although these are often evaluated simultaneously. The first is whether internal systems comply with regulatory requirements. The second is whether internal activity complies with the internal systems and are completed to a satisfactory standard. In the video today, we will share with you in detail what the key elements of an internal audit are to help you implement this within your own facility to ensure regulatory success. Let's break down the key elements of internal audits. First, audit planning. The audit process begins with planning, where the scope, standards against which the audit will be performed, and audit objectives are defined. This should be carried out in line with the approved audit schedule to ensure all areas of the business are reviewed regularly. Next, audit preparation. Auditors prepare for the audit by reviewing relevant documents, previous audit reports, and action plans. This preparation helps identify key areas of focus and potential issues to be probed during the audit. Then, audit execution. The audit is conducted on-site, where auditors evaluate processes, interview personnel, and review records. They gather evidence to determine compliance with regulatory requirements and the QMS, and identify areas for improvement. Following that, audit reporting. After the audit, auditors compile their findings into a detailed report. This report highlights non-conformances, observations, and recommendations for best practice. It is shared with management and relevant departments for review. Next, action plan, where non-conformances are identified, corrective and preventive actions, or CAPA, are developed and implemented to address the issues. This should involve identifying root causes, establishing and implementing CAPA, and verifying their effectiveness. Depending on the non-conformance, a deviation may be required to assess the impact on any previous batches, and identify the root cause of the non-conformance where this would be beneficial. Then, follow-up. Follow-up audits are conducted to ensure that corrective actions have been implemented and are effective. This step is crucial for maintaining continuous improvement and compliance. Internal audits are vital for several reasons. First, ensuring compliance. They verify that processes and activities comply with regulatory requirements and internal standards. This is a mandatory requirement of Chapter 9 of EU GMP. Second, identifying risks. They help identify potential risks and areas of non-compliance, allowing organizations to address issues before they escalate. Third, improving quality. They drive continuous improvement by highlighting best practices and areas for improvement. And finally, enhancing accountability. They promote accountability and responsibility among employees and departments by ensuring that everyone adheres to established procedures and standards. Effective internal audits are essential for maintaining a robust quality management system and ensuring the quality and compliance of pharmaceutical products. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date with more great content.